Hello and welcome to the Geek Show. I'm Em Gilmore and I'm with my very good friend Rose.
Hi everybody, we're back again this week on Radio Caley after a couple of technical hitches last week.
Yeah, last week we couldn't broadcast live because...
technology doesn't like
so
us.
it's fine though, we still got up on YouTube, we still managed to do a show just recording on my iPad, but it's all good. This week we're on air.
Who knows, maybe we'll become professional podcasters after this, who knows.
Don't chance it. Okay, so this week we're going to talk about the diversity within our fandoms, whether we think there is good representation of different people in them or some that could probably do better.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good that we look at both the negatives and the positives because, you know, as much as we love to slam, you know, a heavy-handed use of representation, you know, it's time to also applaud maybe some really good stuff, yeah?
Yeah, so let's just start by looking at our childhood compared to now. Do you notice more representation now in like new media than you did what media you consumed when you were a child?
I mean, it's weird because obviously as a child you're not really thinking that much about that representation, but maybe that's a good thing as well because it means you yourself are properly represented. I know for myself, like, obviously just in case our listeners aren't aware, I am bi. Yeah, that's my big coming out moment on air. So yeah, I was never quite aware of bi characters. Like, obviously the good guys were never bi. They were always villains. But this is going to sound weird, but I kind of love a good bi villain, you know. I love a bit of camp, I love the flair and, you know, the ha 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 evil laugh. So yeah, I think there was always a little bit of good representation, but it's really encouraging to finally get to see like bisexuality represented in a way that's, you know, normal. People don't make a big song and dance about it. I was wondering you yourself if you've seen any decent representation.
I mean, when I was younger, I grew up in stuff like Star Wars and Doctor Who, I guess, and in Star Wars there wasn't much representation.
Yeah, I think it's crazy because I was looking at
like in the prequel and original trilogy, that's what I grew up on, and then obviously sequels came out when I was like a teenager.
I mean, fun fact, there's actually no female Jedi in the prequels or the originals. There is, obviously.
Well, there is, but like they're kind of like
speaking.
Yeah, there is.
They're like, yes, we can have female Jedi, but you shall sit in the corner.
Yeah, and then literally the sequel trilogy has a bit more like terms of diversity in terms of like people of colour and also like sexuality, but it's literally shunted to the side. Like a prime example is the character of Finn.
Yes. Oh.
He was made out to be in Force Awakens as this big character with a big arc, and I was so excited, and he literally was just shunted to the side by Rise of Skywalker. That really annoyed me.
It's weird because obviously there was such excitement for it. I mean, obviously there was the obvious bits of hatred there, but I think for the majority of people, we were excited to finally, you know, meet Finn. There was a lot of push in the advertising and the promotion of Finn. That's the thing I wanted to mention as well is that I think we're talking about people of colour and representation, and I realised that a lot of the shows I used to watch were fairly white.
Yes. There are so many things that I look back on and I watch and I go, this is literally just all white people. And you just don't really think about it, I guess, as a child.
No.
But now when you go in as like more critique of the mind of an adult, you go, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, it's just... I think that's the weird thing is it's not a representation of the world that we live in. And I think one thing that's great about the world is we've got people from different backgrounds, different races, different different histories, and that's what makes everything so unique. Is this all these things coming together to create the world that we now live in, which is the 21st century. So you know, I think some fandoms have got a little bit of catching up to do. But yeah, there has been obviously leaps and bounds in representation.
Yes, there has been, and one thing that I want to talk about is the recent Scream film. I've mentioned it in previous shows. I absolutely adore that film. It literally is sapphic central. There's so many of the female characters especially are just either bi or gay or like have like bi vibes. It is mad.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing you're talking about. There used to be maybe, I was looking at some of the stuff, and maybe one you know, gay person there, and, you know, one person of colour. So it was kind of there, you know, to say, look, we are not racist because or homophobic or transphobic because we've got this one person here.
It's bare minimum representation, and that really, really annoys me. Because you were talking about the Disney's bare minimum issue with the cutting of scenes. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so listeners, bit of a hot take here. I mean, as much as I love finally getting to see myself represented in Disney movies, with LeFou and countless other characters, actually not countless, you count them on one hand, and you can't name them because they're side characters, but Disney has a habit of, celebrating diversifying its movies, but then the characters can actually get cut out of scenes fairly easily, especially if they're marketing towards countries that are hostile to LGBTQ plus people, for example Russia and China and Saudi Arabia, for a few, that they can actually cut them quite easily. For example, Artie from Cruella.
Yes.
Everyone's favourite.
Yes.
Yeah. So when he mentions anything any girl, and then he goes, or boy, could ever want, in those movies the or boy bit was taken out.
Jeez.
And I don't know if maybe they had recorded a scene where they didn't have the or boy line.
Or they just edited it.
Or they edited it. I mean, great editing, I've got to say, but at the same time, it's a bit disappointing that... I mean, I think I said to you, it feels like it's saying to the world that gay people are, erasable, we're interchangeable, you can get rid of us pretty much like that, 5 minutes of work.
Yeah, exactly. It's not good. It's also, I hate how, Disney especially, they get big praise for just having the bare minimum. Like, for example, Eternals, having the gay kiss in there, people going, oh, it's a big thing, and it's just literally the bare minimum.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? Because, I'm going to bring up a wee bit of an unusual fandom here, but the Brooklyn Nine-Nine, for example, how crazy is it that we actually didn't get to see Captain Holt and Kevin kiss until it was the final season?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think I will applaud, representation where it is, but I just ask for a little bit more than the bare minimum.
It's also weird, especially just going back to the Marvel fandom. It's weird how the kiss between Fastos and his husband is less talked about than the literally throwaway line that makes Loki bi.
Yeah.
That is talked about all the time, and it literally that is like, really, you just go about a throwaway line of that? Okay. Whereas the Fastos kiss is literally just completely ignored.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you could argue that's positive because it means that it's being made normal and,
There is that, but it's more just like, oh, okay, you're going to talk about a throwaway line more than actual thing that happened, but okay.
Yeah, it's just... But there's good stuff there as well. Like, we're seeing a lot more female-led characters, a lot more people of colour represented in movies. Also just handling different cultures in a sensitive manner as well, I've noticed. Put it this way, I know I think it was Encanto, won a BAFTA last night.
I do.
I've yet to actually catch up on the BAFTAs. Shock horror, I
yes.
know. I mean, I usually am up to date with all the award shows, just so I can chat about which ones I didn't like. But Encanto won that, and honestly, I'd say that's a good sign because out of all the Disney movies that have claimed to explore different cultures, I feel like this one was the one that was done best and is most sensitive with its topic. So I think it's showing there's definitely been progress made.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll wrap up section 1 there.
Yep.
We'll now play a song and then we'll get into section 2. So
that sounds like a plan.
This is We Fell in Love in October by Girl in Red.